Once upon a time, there lived a very wise and far-sighted king. He believed that the true strength of a country did not only come from its army, its wealth, or its big buildings. A nation becomes strong when its people are brave, hard-working, and ready to face difficulties instead of avoiding them. The king wanted his sons to learn this important truth. He knew that some lessons cannot be learned from books. They must be experienced. So one day, he came up with a simple but powerful idea. Early in the morning, he called his soldiers and said, "Place a huge stone right in the middle of the main road. I want to see how people deal with it." The soldiers did exactly as he ordered. They put a big rock on the road and then left quietly. The king then climbed a tall tower with his sons. From there, they could watch everything happening on the road. After some time, a group of wealthy courtiers came along. They were riding in fancy chariots and were surrounded by many servants. But as soon as they reached the rock, their chariots stopped. Instead of trying to move it, they became angry. They shouted, "What kind of king do we have? He cannot even keep the roads clean." They complained for several minutes. Then, without even touching the rock, they turned back and took another road. The king looked at his sons and said nothing. He wanted them to observe and understand. After a while, some tired farmers came walking along. They had been working in the fields since morning, and their faces showed their exhaustion. When they reached the rock, they stopped and whispered to each other, "This must be a sign from God. Maybe He is testing us." They prayed for a few moments, bowed their heads, and then walked away with a smile. They left the rock exactly where it was. Then came a brave warrior, one of the king's most loyal knights. He saw the rock and immediately felt concerned. "This is dangerous," he said. "Someone could get hurt." Without wasting a moment, he rode off to the palace to inform the king. But in his hurry to report the problem, he never once thought about moving the rock himself. Throughout the day, different people came and went. Some complained, some blamed others, some prayed. Some simply ignored the problem and walked away. But no one took responsibility. The sun slowly dipped in the sky and evening arrived. The king's sons watched everything, confused and thoughtful. Just then, a simple farmer appeared on the road. His clothes were dusty, his body was covered in sweat, and he was carrying a heavy load on his back. He looked exhausted after a long day of hard work. But when he saw the big rock, he stopped. He stood quietly for a moment, thinking. Then he said softly to himself, "If I do not move this rock today, many people will suffer tomorrow. The king cannot see everything. We also have responsibilities." He gently placed his heavy load on the ground. Then he bent down and started pushing the rock with both hands. It was extremely heavy. His muscles shook. His breath became fast. Sweat dripped from his forehead to the ground. But he did not stop. He pushed again and again, until finally, with great effort, he rolled the rock off the road. Just as he stepped back to rest, he noticed something strange. Under the rock was a small leather pouch. He picked it up and found it filled with shining gold coins. The farmer could hardly believe his eyes. He looked around, confused. At that moment, the king walked toward him with his sons. The king smiled warmly and said, "These gold coins belong to you. You are the only one today who understood your responsibility. You did not complain. You did not blame anyone. You did not run away. You acted. And this is the lesson I wanted my sons to learn." Then he turned to his sons and said, "Remember this for life. Obstacles do not come to stop us. They come to shape us. They teach us courage. They make us stronger. When we face difficulties with responsibility, we move forward and earn true respect. The king's sons stood quietly. They knew they had learned something that no teacher could have taught them. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Your support encourages me to bring you more inspiring stories. Thank you for listening. We will meet again with a new lesson very soon.